Cool. We've got Monday's footage to go over. It was another pretty packed session there, at least through the middle of it. Beginning was a little slow, but some really good rolls. Let's dive right in. So Austin and Caleb. So we're also, I don't want to like get too ahead of myself right now, but a couple people had some pretty killer breakthroughs, I think, just based on my roles with them this evening. So we'll get to see some of that later. So Austin immediately in, working his close guard. So is this what generated the conversation about guillotines with Austin? Some of this like close guard, front headlock stuff?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's starting to see him more now. Um, and yeah, I think that's it. That's not the only time I think I see him going for it in a few other roles. Once against you, I know he tried it when I trained with him. So I think he's just seeing it in closed guard pop up, especially with his length, you know.
Yeah.
So, but of course, going up for the trap triangle already in this role. He's so sneaky with that with the leg going over the shoulder.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in a solid position here. It looks like his right leg is well outside the shoulder, so Caleb's shoulder is nowhere to be seen. I think he's starting to see those arm bars a bit better now.
Recognizing when he can get on top.
Let's look at that again. Okay, so Caleb, I was gonna say Caleb must have initiated that, and it's funny too because like you wouldn't. I feel like maybe Caleb is gambling here that Austin is going to have a harder time finishing from mount than he will in the current position. So he opts to sit back. Austin may have been ready for him to like throw the legs over, for Caleb to try to throw his legs over and finish or attempt an escape there. So maybe Austin got the jump on him. I don't know. I'm curious why Caleb sat back on that.
Yeah, I couldn't tell whether or not he was trying to sit back in order to break the triangle, you know, by like throwing one leg over.
Yeah.
And just wasn't able to, or I don't know what.
So I want to see how Pat got his underhook here, how he set this up. So Pat and Duncan getting it started. Okay, so just a high. Man, you know what's funny is what Duncan does here. Like, watch his right arm goes way up high on like this over tie.
Mm-hmm.
And like I do this a lot, and it seems like every time I do it these days, people are getting around behind me. Like it's I don't know. It's frustrating. Like, I mean, it takes me back to the last competition I did before COVID, where I just got tooled the whole time. But there were a number of times where I had my back taken standing, and I think it was because of just kind of like a lazy overreach with the arm, and it just turns into an easy back take from there. So that's what Pat did here, right? He got the underhook, started cutting his angle, and ended up getting the takedown. Let's see what happened with Austin and Caleb. Damn, Austin is just super deep on this.
I think he's starting to squeeze his knees together with his arms. He's hugging his arms.
Yeah. I think he did that finish last week too. That seems like it's working for him when everything else is nice and tied up and he still needs a little bit more. I think he's starting to go for that. Good framing from Duncan.
Yep.
Keeping that elbow in on the hips, making it difficult for Pat to settle in. Notice, looking at Daniel and Brandon up here in the top. So Daniel does a really great job of putting his weight where it's going to be most effective. Like he gets so much leverage out of his positioning. Like just keeping his weight right on the shoulder line, making it very difficult for Brandon to even reestablish like a turtle position.
Yep.
And start working back to guard. Caleb in on the knee bar. I missed their whole entry here. So get started. Austin pulls. Yeah, that looks weird.
He just does a leg drag.
But that's. But he's like dragging up into, like he's stepping up into the center. Like he doesn't have both legs across the body, you know?
Right.
Okay, so all right, he pulls into the straight ankle.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And then to like in a Rimiyashi. You should have heard all the crap that Justin and Daniel were talking yesterday about our Japanese terminology and our insistence on using it.
Yeah.
I was like, I subtitle everything I say. I always say both. Good transition.
That is really laying on the top pressure.
Yeah.
Trying to work to get the arms isolated. Duncan's doing a good job keeping his elbows tight to the hips.
Trying. And it's going to be difficult to like kip with Pat.
Yeah.
Just because of the size difference here, but like if so Pat's doing a great job at hiding his feet underneath Duncan, which makes it really difficult to work your go-to elbow escape from here, right? So, you know, a lot of times, you know, we advocate when our partners are bringing their feet together, stepping on the foot, pick a foot, step on it with your cross-side foot, try to open the legs up, sneak into your elbow escape from there. But Pat's like, his legs are underneath Duncan's waist at this point, so Pat's done a good job of like securing his position a bit better, and then just starting to ride up high on Duncan. I mean, Duncan's really got to focus on, I think, framing the hips at this point and starting to shoulder walk back to a position where Pat's a little bit lower, hip over hip. Easier said than done right now, but we missing stuff with, let's see how Caleb passed this guard. Getting heavy.
His hips. Gets into a butterfly. Comes around. Yeah, really nice.
Good body lock.
Yeah.
Into the buggy. Trying the little jailbreak or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Did Pat get a strangle in there? Oh yeah, he did. He got his arm all the way across. Okay, and Duncan taps. Oh, Caleb's looking for the sit into the cross ashi that we talked about.
Yep.
Got to control Austin's legs a bit more though if he wants that.
You got to sit in on that one.
Look away for 1 second. Nice. I think Luke would be proud. And yeah, you know, contrast that to a few weeks ago when we first mentioned that on the stream to Caleb. where he put himself from side control backwards into half guard, right? He moved, technically you could say moving backwards, and then worked to cut all the way around to get to cross ashi on the other side. Instead, he just sits into it from side control in one much easier move. And then he did nothing with it.
Yeah. Oh, rubber guard. Let's see how he handles rubber guard.
I would love Austin to put me in rubber guard. I feel like
Me too.
no one's put us in rubber guard, like, because no one does it at our school.
Yeah.
Got to make sure we can still escape it.
Yeah.
Pat with the sweep. It's a nice basic scissor sweep with collar tie and the elbow grip. Maybe a little higher than an elbow grip, but he's blocking at the elbow.
Yep.
Gets Duncan a little bit extended, puts him over. It was a long round. So this, we talked a little bit about this at class. I'd say both days, Monday and Tuesday. Obviously, you know, we're rolling casually here, but Pat and Caleb start in this very close position here. If I'm sitting on my butt, I don't want my opponent that close to me, unless I bring him in that close, right? And look what happens. Caleb starts, you know, making his grips or trying to control Pat's legs here as best he can to start working his guard pass, and he ends up getting it. A little bit of footwork, heavy on the head here, and he slides right by. Let's see if Pat recovers. Right, Pat's gonna be a bit more immobile since he's the guy down, and Caleb's working to control him. So like from early on, like this is when you want to like disengage, you know, or shouldn't say disengage, right? But like shrimp backwards, create some space, bug the base of your opponent. It looks like Pat is maybe thinking that right now with that left leg kind of hooked on the inside. But that's not going to be enough, right? You can always just plant your hand, scoot yourself back, and get to a better spot and work from there. You don't have to accept this heavy on the head kind of stuff. A plan B when it starts to happen is you can work, you know, your takedowns from more of a wrestling perspective, coming up on knee pulls, ankle picks, you know, working those into single legs. But even then, those are moves that you want to initiate yourself. I don't like doing those reactively. I don't know about you. I prefer to set those up myself than have to like scramble to do them.
Yeah, it depends on who I'm rolling with, but my rule of thumb is like it's got to be a grip battle, right? So
Yeah.
if I'm not breaking their posture down by establishing top grips with either wrists or collar ties, then I'm looking to enter into the legs or come up and wrestle up into a single leg or a double leg.
Yeah. So speaking earlier about certain people having just like a hell of a night, seemed like they were having those aha moments. Duncan was 100% on his shit tonight. Yep. And he just like, once we got down, I felt some pressure from him that I have not felt from him before, and things were really clicking together pretty well. It's really awesome to see that progress.
Yep. It looked like he was really thinking about trying to pick you up and pop you down.
Dude, I had like PTSD from when Joe Baker basically like Toro'd me, you know, like I was a bull and he was a matador, and he just picked me up. I'm like, oh god, I'd be dead right now. Duncan almost had me in the exact same spot. But yeah, he was really laying on the pressure, and not in that like you know, grip and hold and panic and breathe heavy kind of way that like, you know, a beginner white belt would do. It was all much more calculated. I mean, right there, like, I immediately go to my guard break. He's trying to work the standing guard break counters that I think you were showing.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love to see that.
trying to suck the knee down as fast as he could, enter into the legs. I think that move really clicked with him when we went over that at class. Yeah, I think Duncan's in the chat right now. Why is the chat so damn quiet? Makes me think we're on mute, but I know we're not. Yeah, I see you guys lurking. And then from here, man, I spent a lot of time fighting him off. So Caleb looks like he's looking for either an armbar or a back take from here. Probably going towards the armbar at this point.
Yeah.
And we got Brooke harassing Ronnie over on the side.
Mm-hmm.
And Cole and Austin. So, don't you want to have the chance? Yeah, you should have. I mean, you would have put me right on my neck. I probably would be paralyzed right now. In a real situation. I was pissed. Or wait, did we get to go over that on stream? I don't remember. I'm pretty sure we have the footage somewhere. Anyway, let's look back at this. So Caleb's working his armbar. He can't really get Pat's arm away. Okay, we did go over that. Can't really isolate Pat's left arm here. So it looks like he switches up his attack to the right arm. Which is, I think that's a good move. It's gonna elicit a defensive reaction from Pat, which will either expose the back or expose the arm, depending on how much he turns or how much he reaches, or if he doesn't react at all, he just gets Americana'd. But Caleb opts to use it. It looks like to look at nice elbow pressure right in the side of the face.
Yeah.
And I feel like he almost gets a workable Americana here. Because I don't think Pat's left arm can really grip effectively. Because it looked like it was kind of getting smashed. But now he's got a bit better isolation on that left arm. Hips underneath the elbow. To the finish.
Nice.
And then Cole and Austin. So Cole's up in mount. See how Austin works from here. What's up, Caleb? Did you just see us talking about your armbar? Because it was good. Austin digging in, trying to get underneath Cole's chin here. Cool. I like Austin's like immediate body triangle that he goes to. That makes me happy. Nice.
I like that switch.
Yeah.
That he did.
Quick dig under the neck. A good reminder though.
Cole just punched him in the head.
What was that?
I feel like Cole just punched him in the head trying to go back, but
probably. Cole gets very punchy. I like how quickly he smacked him. I like how quickly he switched from I don't know why. I guess maybe Cole got his chin down there. But how quickly Austin switches, up here he's losing the upper body control. Cole gets up, probably opened up his neck for a second, and Austin jumped in on it. And that's something you always have to look for. Like those times where, Cole, I'm pretty sure was just talking smack to me there. But when your opponent, maybe like plants their feet and bridges up and they expose their neck, screw the hand fight, dive in on the neck and get it as deep as possible because they messed up really bad. So good looking out for that. Even if Cole was talking to me and you took advantage of it. Maybe I'll do that more often. If I see people on Cole's back, I'll distract Cole so they can attack him. Caleb.
So,
see how we
so
got here.
Pat did a really good job here. You know, being very comfortable in the standing exchange with the legs. The one thing I think a point of improvement, Pat, if you're watching, is I want you to be, I guess, more attentive to the legs. So what we'll see is that while he's trying to actively get his legs out, I want you to think about clearing the knee line the entire time. So here we'll see Caleb shoot in for Ashi here, and while Pat's doing a good job, um, you know, standing up, I want to see the pushing on the top leg to start clearing the knee line, um, so that way you can start really getting out of the position. Or if you do get popped down, you're not in a point to where you're at risk for a leg lock. But otherwise, good attention, good awareness that of what's happening. I think he winds up defending all of the leg attacks up to the bell. But it's like, ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure in this type of scenario.
Yeah. Yeah, and to Caleb's for his efforts here, that was impressive. It looked like maybe Pat's knee was a little kind of close to getting out here, so he switched it up to the toe hold.
Yep.
Not bad at all.
Creating a bend in the knee and keeping the knee line clear, or knee line captured. Yeah, he does a good job there.
Yeah. And then with Pat still rotating, he switches up. This was a really good little subtle move here. As Pat's spinning around, Caleb abandons the finishing kind of grip, because he knows he's not going to be able to finish this. And see, he takes that grip right on the knee to prevent, to try to wedge in behind it and prevent Pat from slipping the knee anymore. So now he can take the time to try to get the knee line back, I think. Unless he, there, he knew he lost
Pat
it.
wound up tapping because he knew that. I think he caught the heel for the inside heel hook.
Ah. Oh, yeah,
there.
okay.
But good battle. I mean, good way to be comfortable in a bad spot, and good way, like you were saying, about keeping the knee line captured and continuing to go for the leg lock.
Yeah, for sure. And then, so yeah, Duncan here. I mean, just fast forwarding through everything. Let's see. So we went over this. He was on my back. He swept me somehow.
He's got that knee or that ankle grip right here, and he almost does like that reverse waiter sweep.
Yeah. And then from there, just fast forwarding through, you could see how little I was able to do. He was just constantly on the attack. Heavy pressure here. I think I said to him at one point, I'm like, who the hell is this Duncan that's in class right now? Like, this is what's up. Trying to get a sweep here. He just kept coming forward.
Going for the 100% grip.
Yeah, but he started getting around to the cross side, and it was just, there was nothing there. Reaching with my short legs to try to hit a tripod sweep. And then just look at the shoulder pressure he's putting on my face here. Like, completely turning me away. I have no chance of regarding with that kind of pressure. So it was get to turtle. Ran out of time. But yeah, that was great, Duncan. That was just killer progress coming together into one round. Yeah, whatever, man. Like, you sure, everybody, can always brush up on finishing mechanics, but like none of that shit matters if you can't control and isolate, um, which you did well there. You were controlling, isolating limbs and the neck, and that's going to be the next thing. Doesn't mean I'm not telling you to not focus on finishing mechanics for now. But yeah, man, either way, that was great. Look at this reversal from Daniel here. So Daniel comes in
deep over or underhook.
Yeah, he shoots in. Let's see how he does this. So he's got a shallow underhook here. Hits a level change, shoots in, gets his double unders, gets Cole kind of wheeled over. I think
It's a hip toss, basically.
Oh, what?
And then it becomes a hip toss.
Essentially, yeah, from the knees. I think if Cole could have gotten this leg planted, like in here behind Daniel, he may have been able to save this, because he could have planted that leg and then driven across him, and that may have been enough to take Daniel down backwards. But since he couldn't get it planted and basically loaded his hips above Daniel's here, Daniel got to choose what happens at the end of that scramble.
Yeah, it'd be a Kosotogari is what he would be, what Cole would be basically doing, right? With that
Yeah.
Step over, it would be with the opposite leg of the Osoto. So I guess it would be Kosoto.
Be a minor outside reap for those who hate our Japanese guessing. Thank Cole for the tip on the increased pressure. Yeah. Cole is now that you mention it, that makes a lot more sense. Because he's done the same thing in the recent months. Like, I mean, dating back to really before he got his purple belt. Like, just understanding how much more effective passing and pinning can be with really deliberate, directed pressure.
I mean, yeah, you can watch Daniel here. It's the case in point.
Cole working up to double underhooks. So here, if he can, he's gonna need to get. There we go. Let's see what he. Okay. See what he does with this. So. With those double unders, when he took that leg out, I think the first thing he should try here is right to the knee. Instead of on the outside, I want to see the foot. I want to see the sole of his foot right at the arch, like right on the knee, toes pointed outward. And work with, I think it's like a Hizuguruma, like that. When I can't get a scissor sweep because someone's too big, I hit like the knee push with my foot. With that double under, like that's a great way to stretch out somebody's base on one side. I mean, if he was able to push Daniel's leg this far back, Daniel's left arm isn't going to be able to base out, and he could pretty much roll him over at that point. I would opt to that, like, probably for the size difference here, because hoisting up with a Sumigeshi, as Cole likes to do, he likes to use like that hook sweep style from here, could be difficult where if Daniel's sitting his hips back this far and Cole's hips are, not underneath him, as is the case in this frame. Looks like he scoots himself in a little bit there. So he may have been able to hit it with a Sumigeshi. But yeah, Daniel was able to get that left hand down and ended up shutting down the sweep. What's up, Austin?
So, man. Yeah, so one thing that I'm learning with this, especially rolling with bigger guys and trying to hit these sweeps, Gordon talks about it. I only hear Gordon in his instructionals talk about the shoulder crunch when somebody's head goes over your head, you lose the shoulder crunch, right? So anytime you're really trying to apply pressure to the shoulder for the shoulder crunch sweep or for the shoulder crunch, you have to make sure that their head is below the height of your head, right? And I mean that like
over your chest, not over your head.
Yeah, right. They have to be down, okay? And I think that is true in this double underhook position. So once Daniel's head goes above Cole's head, there's nothing stopping Daniel from planting his hands on the mat, right? Like, and applying chest pressure down onto Cole's head and starting to walk around like he does here. Now, what it does is it gives Cole the opportunity to shoot through on both sides and start attacking the back. Yeah. Right. So there's a downfall to that, right? But some slide bys. Not reacting that way. You know what I mean? And when Cole hits, if you think about the way that when Cole hits the double over sweep, when somebody's got a body lock, what does that do, right? Why is it so effective? Well, it's really effective because the person's head is always below your head when you got double overs. The same premise is the same, it's the same concept as when you have an over under, because you always have that overhook, which is keeping their head down low. So that's something that I've been toying around with, and again, I didn't realize it until we started getting a lot of like bigger folks that are coming in, and I'm not able to sweep them as effectively, or like when I go to sweep them, they're passing my guard.
Right, yeah. In addition to that, to mitigate, because like the overhook allows you, the overhook and the shoulder crunch, I feel like those grips lend themselves well towards keeping that posture lower, like keeping the head lower. I think to mitigate, since you can't do that quite as well with the underhooks, mitigating the hand placement on the mat, so I like where Cole's hands are right now. Up here, like kind of behind the shoulder blades towards the neck, but you've got to flare the elbows out. I feel like you can't hit it and then keep your elbows tight. Like Cole's elbows are at Daniel's ribs right now, but if you got up there, took an S grip and flared the elbows out wide, it's going to be harder for Daniel for his arms to come down any further than his shoulder line if it's set up well. So while the head in this case, while Daniel's head may still be like over Cole's because he can't necessarily bring it down as far, he could still disrupt Daniel's ability to like base at a reasonable level. And then with that knee push or the Sumigaeshi finish, he could still get that move. He just has to disrupt that upper body base a little bit better. Yep. That's an interesting take on that. I hadn't considered that relative to like the shoulder crunch sweep. I'll have to play around with that. I think Austin and I had a interesting exchange here. I don't remember. I just saw a flurry of activity. I never let him get that hook out. Like, I just refuse.
You're trying to body lock past him here, right?
I was trying, yeah, and then he tries to omoplata. That's what it was.
Okay.
So yeah, I start getting heavy on that hook, trying to get my leg over, and he adapted pretty quickly there. And I'm like, you're definitely not gonna go plot me, because he was on that bullshit for a while. And then I'm like, all right, let me get my hips by, and I'll just seed closed guard here. So never gonna omoplata me. And then I immediately try to do it to him. Yeah, I know, dude. I tried so hard. I wanted to get him with that so bad. Oh, and I'm going to call Daniel out here just because yesterday when people were giving me shit about our Japanese terminology and usage thereof, he was like, what's Keisagatame?
Oh.
Or like he's like, what's the other one you guys always say? Keisagatame? And I'm like, all right, of all of them,
That's
And
what
look,
he's
and,
like really good at for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
looking at the footage now, I'm like, how?
Scarf hold. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, it's a scarf hold. Like, how do you not? I feel like everybody knows that one.
Queso salami.
Okay, that's what I told him, yeah. But yeah, it looks like he got the compression choke, the camel crush, or whatever people are calling it these days. And then for
Trying to
the
set up Katagatame.
the what?
You have a Katagatame on Austin.
I do, or an arm triangle for those of you who are monolingual. And this is the first time I've ever, I think the first time, maybe outside of like his first week of training, that I actually finished this on him. It was a proud moment for me, so I'm just gonna savor it, talk some shit. It felt good. I was like, I feel like I have this. Oh yeah, and then I flexed on him. Where was it? Whoa. I got mad jealous, man, because I see like other people hitting it on him, and I'm like, why can't I do that to him? And then he tried to take it to me. It's so annoying how comfortable Pat is, or how comfortable Daniel is from that position. Like, he's just totally chill, like putting his back down, and he navigates from there so well.
And then he's teaching Caleb how to do it, and you get to see Caleb do that shit to me later on.
Excellent.
This night.
Great. One thing I do want to point out here, since this is open guard week, a common theme of our lessons is passing. It's easy. Well, I mean, we have grips and gi. I don't want to say it's easier, but I don't know. People pass my guard a hell of a lot easier in gi than in no gi. But look at what Pat does here. Like, he's completely focused on lower body control at this point. Not in terms of like attacking legs, but in terms of pinning Cole's legs, working this loose passing. Something kind of akin to Toriando.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you would call it that. It's not akin to it, but he's controlling the legs, working his hips and legs around the outside while preventing Cole from regarding, and then working his way up the body. In his own, this is his style. So like this little inversion that he puts Cole into, and then works his way out of. He's basically, if you think about it, he has controlled Cole's legs, put Cole to his back, and then works to chest. It's the same broad formula that you use when you're passing guard. Get around the legs, control them, make sure they don't, knees point away, they can't regard, all that. Immobilize.
He does it in a unique way. Yeah.
Yeah. He immobilizes the hips. He puts him on his back. He gets chest to chest. So, but it all started with that connection with the legs, right? He immobilizing Cole's legs. So like when you guys think the answer is speed and jumping around and this and that, sometimes it works, but you could be a lot faster relative to your opponent if you can get their legs under control. So all that fast footwork you may be working on, great. You can make it even faster relative to your opponent if you slow your opponent down.
Yep.
Ooh,
Okay. I
nasty
didn't see
little
him
Kimura.
going for the Kimura.
Yeah.
So now he's taking a mount. Okay, he's going to try and use that to continue the armbar, but good luck.
I have to revisit Ronnie and Caleb here. Really trying to isolate that arm, which is easier said than done on Cole.
It is, yeah.
I just want to check in on Ronnie and Caleb's roll. Just gonna take it back here. See how it all started. Caleb got himself a little Kasoto Gari there. It looks like Ronnie works her way back to guard. I'd like to see her try to stand from here. Oh, we're getting in the way. Looks like she was thinking that. She's got to be a bit more mobile here. You know what I mean? There we go.
Yeah.
Because like grabbing in on the legs only exposes your back. Gotta move your hips. Gotta get to a more advantageous angle. Yeah. Feels good. Man, so you haven't gotten to experience it yet, but Bertram has been experimenting with leg riding a lot, which Ronnie was just in a good position to try it. I don't think she's normally not there on Tuesdays either, but this position here, if she took, I think this is coming from one of Craig Jones's recent releases, but the leg riding that Mike's been doing is essentially leg stapling. Like Ronnie would leg staple with her left leg over Caleb's left leg.
Left leg, yeah.
And then would leg staple the right leg, his right leg, with her right leg as well. So her right foot would pummel over to the inside. Her left knee would pummel over to the outside. So you're working this like double staple. You sit back to your heels. If you think about it, if you could picture that, Caleb would be totally twisted up. If he tried to turn back, back to the mat, he can't because his hips are forced in the other direction. Just the same way we use shoulder pressure to make somebody turn their head so that they can't, work an elbow escape on, if you turn their head to the right side, they can't work the elbow escape on the left side. You could, there's a lower body analog to that, that is absolutely miserable. Like, especially when Bertram is doing it to you, and then he reaches up and cross faces you and turns your head the other way, and essentially is like putting a twister on you from the top, but without the intention of submitting you, just making you suffer.
If you want to see that in action, watch the Isaac Michelle versus Kyle Chambers 2-hour freaking battle, and you see Isaac Michelle do it to Kyle.
I'm gonna need a timestamp.
Over and over and over.
Yeah.
But yes, that was one of the things that kind of like went off in my head when I was watching that match, is like how effective that leg stapling was, the power ride, right? Like the leg riding.
I really like the pressure that Ronnie's putting on Caleb's upper body right here. Like it, she's got a battle to get her knee free and start to advance from here. But it's a lot easier to do that when Caleb can't turn, can't move his shoulders. This was happening a lot in some of the positional drilling that we were doing during class, where Luke was coming around and coaching her into this heavy shoulder pressure. And if you look at it now, I mean, Caleb's on his own. I don't want to say losing the leg here. Like he's like right there. I mean, her knee's out at this point, right? It's like he's trying to use the same thing you would do with a lockdown to pull her down his body, but he doesn't have the lockdown, so it's kind of a futile attempt there. But then as soon as
over there though, like that was a good recapture.
Yeah, absolutely. And then he got out to the side. He's on his right hip now. Ronnie's got to be ready to feel when that knee is free. That's when she's got to make her move.
Yep.
Yeah, good round. I don't know, is this you and Brooke?
Yeah, she had it out for me.
She's got it out for everybody. What's up, James?
Hey, James.
Kirk gets a nice quick tap on me here. I think he hit a takedown. I forgot what it was. Or maybe I hit it and then he just like, I don't know. Let's see. Ah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Uchimata. And then he drove into me. And I was like, cool, I'll just take your back. And he goes, nice try. I'll just break your ankle.
Oh, jeez.
Like, my back's against the, really, like, I can't even blame the wall here. Like, it's just my head against the wall. But, like, I didn't see that. Yeah, I couldn't get my hips out from underneath him. So it was like, oh, he's totally got that. So, yeah, Uchimata right into, I think Kesa briefly. And then when I tried to take his back, he wasn't having any of it.
I hit this weird. I was starting to see some things pop up with this collar tie and the way that Brooke was standing with me, and I wound up snatching a single leg earlier in like 30 seconds ago, and I wasn't able to do anything with it. She was really heavy on my head, bugging my head, and I wasn't able to finish it. I should have just tried to run the pipe, but I wanted to do something different. Anyway,
well, she got her leg out, so
she did. Yeah, she started pummeling it out. I should have fought harder, I feel like. But anyway, we go back around, and what I'm noticing is that the heavier I am on the head, the more I'm starting to see her plant really heavy with a front foot. So I'm playing with the head. I'm seeing her plant really heavy with her right foot.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, well, if I can get that, then if I come back down, she's going to back up and I'm going to get an unweighted leg that I can hang on to. And so I reach down and I grab a low single, and she starts to run away kind of as I expected, but I'm able to hold on to it and keep it elevated enough to, so as she's starting to turn away, which is the right thing to do, right? She's supposed to be heavy on my head. And I'm just picking her leg up and trying to work around her back here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you're chasing too. Like
yeah.
This is, I think, a good example of what angle, like cutting the angle and what that movement looks like. Like when we were just giving Ronnie some shit about it, grabbing a leg and staying still, not gonna work. Grabbing a leg and moving in this like arc that you're moving in.
Yep.
It's really the goal here.
Yep. So I came around. I thought she was gonna stand up. She didn't. So I grabbed a seatbelt and I tried to sink my hooks in as much as possible. So, like, what we normally harp on is not taking the back unless you have hooks. But there also is a point, I feel like, where if I can make a chest to back connection with a seatbelt grip, I am in a good enough spot to start finding my hooks. Then I don't know if you feel the same way.
Yeah. I feel like at that point, with that tight chest to back connection and some control over the shoulders, you can get them. It's a little bit. You're down the body a little bit, so that where the head goes, the body follows. Saying it's close to that because you're controlling the shoulder line, so you can get them to torque and turn and get one hook in, get your second hook in, get your body triangle or whatever. But you're not going to do that with a loose upper body grip at all.
Right. So she actually, I don't finish the choke on her or the strangle on her, even though, look, like I have her left arm completely trapped in this body triangle. As soon as I sneak in to start finishing this, she is able to twist in such a way to where there was no way that I could finish this. I didn't feel like anyway, without like completely wrenching and doing anything crazy. But look how she's turning in such an awkward angle for me. Like every time I go to finish this triangle or the strangle,
you've lost the back here already.
Yeah, right. And I have a fully locked body triangle with her arm trapped.
That's bullshit.
It is. Total bullshit. She stands up with me after and she's like, "Did you let go of that?" And I was like, not intentionally. Like,
Don't you ever ask me that again.
yeah, like, I wanted to strangle you.
Yeah, I think we're long past the point of ever giving Brooke
Yeah.
any leeway.
I wanted to finish the match 4 minutes ago. I didn't want to sit there for 4 more minutes.
Yeah,
I was
right.
tired.
I want to go back to it just because Kurt tooled me so hard earlier, so I had to get my comeuppance on him. So I got to work a Russian Thai takedown, and I wanted to look at this. Okay, so I kept
Nice.
his arm on the outside, way on the outside, essentially throwing myself into a Kimura, or throwing him into a Kimura with my body to elicit the flip here, and then getting top pressure. I tried that with Brooke on Tuesday in the gi, I think, or no, I think it was actually, it was later. I tried it with her, and I think I took her hand more up the middle and just totally like biffed the takedown and just got mounted immediately. So we
Yeah,
were
she'll do that to you. Yeah.
yeah, we were discussing like the merits of where to take the hand, like way to the outside, up the middle, the benefits of those, those variations.
I liked how you were weighing in really heavy on him and waiting for him to push back.
100%.
So, like, you got the Russian tie, and as soon as you're here, your head, you can tell from your stance, right? You're pretty close together. Your shoulder is driving into his shoulder at this point. You start to turn the angle to where you're almost head on with him, but you're basically in a perpendicular stance here. And now you're really starting to lean forward.
Mm-hmm.
He's wearing your weight. He's backstepping.
He's
He doesn't want
cross-legged
backstep.
right now.
Right. Yep. And then he's gonna bear into you.
Yep,
Here.
right there.
So now he's fully planted with his left foot. His right foot is unweighted. Then you dive underneath him and turn his arm. Yeah.
And even there, like, I think he may have had a chance to stuff that if he kept his hand in front of him, because, like, let's see if we can catch it on the angle. I think right here his hand is in front of his body, so I'm kind of pushing his own hand into his stomach here. If I could get the hand on the outside of his body, I'm just forcing him to turn over via the Kimura at that point. That's why I think I gravitate to the hand far on the outside as opposed to between the legs.
So the way to really stuff this position, or to stuff this takedown, is for Kurt to walk around your body. So he would be walking to his right, going in a counterclockwise position.
Like
So,
squaring back
as
up to
you-
me, or getting
sorry?
behind me.
Basically squaring right back up to you. So it would be, if you can go in probably right at this speed here. Yep, keep going, pause. So if he was to step over with his right leg over top of your left leg
Yeah.
and walk around your body, then he would end up in a side control position,
Yep.
right? And
Yeah,
that's
it's-
the way that I've been stuffed in the past.
Yeah.
Right.
Fun. And then what do we end up doing? Oh, I guess I got him in an armbar or something. No, I don't know. I don't know what I did.
Leg.
Oh, I think
it's like-
because he hit me with a toe hold, I was like, all right, I'm gonna get an ankle lock on
Great.
you or something.
Oh, I like that leg configure. Okay,
But
I liked that leg configuration you had there.
yeah. I guess since we're in open guard week, we'll just mention this real quick. I'm starting to get pretty late here. If someone is working like in this seated versus kneeling position, If the guy kneeling is like trying to barrel into you and work body locks, you have, there are a set of techniques there that you can try to prevent that. But when they're not coming forward, like, don't think you just have to sit and hand fight or wait for them to get a body lock grip or enter into your legs. Like, I love hip heisting from here and then working front headlocks, which is exactly what I do. Like, I like to get up from here, front headlock, work a go behind. So I typically use a knee go behind. I think I plant my left knee here behind Kurt's tricep. That prevents him from reaching up and stopping me. I then switch my knees, try to take the back, yada yada. But yeah, don't think you just have to sit on your ass and like hold the guy off with your frames. Like, get up off your butt if he's down. Like, win that height battle and take top control.
Yep.
Oh, did you see this little move from Pat? Or, I'm sorry, from Daniel. So Pat's in like this side turtle. Daniel just kind of Granby rolls right out of it. Squares back up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just moving.
That was sick. Brook into Katakatame.
No luck from me.
Just put you in guard. Brooke has a very active close guard.
Yeah. And then she put me back in close guard. I was like, all right, I'm out. And then as I go to chase her down, I'm back in close guard.
And she's doing a great job here just preventing you from setting up what you need to stand. Like, she's breaking your
No kidding.
like she's not letting you post. She's keeping your posture broken, or was keeping your posture broken with just like really a grip on your arm.
Yep.
And then here she refuses to just, stay on the back or on her back. She's immediately fighting to get up. Like, that's that hip heisting and like that vertical fight that it's hard to teach people. Wrestlers get it.
Yep.
And we should mention Brooke got a stripe yesterday. First stripe on her purple belt.
Brooke.
I love it when people go off screen and there's like an immediate change of like dominance.
Yeah.
Like, all of a sudden you guys are back on screen and she's just on your back. Caleb working behind Brandon, getting him down. Round 2 with Duncan, probably get murdered again. I forgot. And I should also just more kudos to Duncan. Like, there wasn't just an offensive step up in his game this evening. Like, he was not letting me work a lot of shit. I mean, look how heavy I'm getting there. He's like, right. Nah, you're not gonna flip me. Like, I know what you want to do with that. You're not gonna take me over. I'm trying to work behind him with my underhooks, hitting duck unders, and he's like, stay in front of me. You're not going anywhere. Yeah, maybe, but you were making it much more difficult, man. Caleb deep on the north-south.
Is that Brandon that he's with?
Yeah. And Brandon fighting it off. Cool.
Yeah. is.
Hard to see what he was doing. I imagine he was just making it difficult for Caleb to get his lat and armpit up underneath the chin.
So I watched this earlier, and Brandon, that was such a good back step. I hate that you got taken over.
Yeah,
but it's
that was
like
perfect.
right here. That was beautiful.
That's
Now I
some
want
Coach
you to
Luke
get your
shit.
hips out and sprawl out, right?
Yeah.
But awesome. That was a good movement. Great movement by Caleb to see the opportunity to take the back though.
Yeah, yeah. And so this looks a lot like Daniel's game here where Brandon starts putting some heavy pressure from the back, starts looking like he's going to turn over. That game, like, Daniel works really well at that game. I have a hard time advocating for it for everybody though. So if that was what you were thinking, Brandon might want to rethink it. Just focus for now. Focus on more traditional styles of pinning, and then if you really want to get fancy here, you're basically almost into cross ashi, like the same sort of step over that we saw Caleb working earlier. Caleb's done that. You know, Caleb has essentially given that to you. What you don't have is Caleb's shoulders pinned to the mat, so it might not come as easily. But that's another discussion that we can leave that for another day. Had to give Duncan some heavy leg pressure for that one.
Yeah, that was nice. That was 3/4 GG finish.
I mean, like right there. See, he just
That was great.
didn't let me work it.
Yep. How did Brendan get on top on that one?
Sneaks out the back.
Okay. And then pushes the knees away and comes around. Good instincts to do that. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, Brandon was definitely another one who's like you could just feel in how he's rolling that certain ideas are coming together. And I'm not just saying that because you're in here, Brandon. It's I think we were talking about that the other day. Refusing me the triangle.
Yeah, that was nice.
And I was trying to throw the hammer down too, like you could see my legs.
Oh yeah, you weren't going light on that.
Yeah, like my left leg. I'm trying to I'm revisiting this in my triangle. I feel like I've been too lazy trying to spin on my back, and I've neglected the effect of the legs coming across the neck and helping you get to your angle. So I've probably just lost a lot of horsepower in my setup there. So I'm trying to work on that a bit better now. And Duncan was just not having any of it either.
Duncan, you've got one arm in, one arm out again.
Yeah, kind of set that one up himself.
Yep.
He's gonna start getting confident on those though if he keeps breaking out of them.
Yeah. I'd like to see you starting to snap Matt down here. Like you've got a good front headlock position.
Got
Throwing
great
your legs out, getting a good sprawl, throwing your weight down on his shoulders, getting his hands posted on the mat. That's a great opportunity for you to to start taking Matt down and either going into front headlocks or going to go behinds and hitting attacking into the turtle position.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember if his intentions here
Okay.
were like to set
Yeah,
up
maybe I
strangles.
spoke too soon.
Well, yes and no, because I mean, like I feel like we spent a fair bit of time there, you know, rolling time, if you will, which feels like minutes. But like, you know, he gets here. Let's put it to regular speed. Like shoulder placement over my neck is solid. Like as soon as you get here, I'd like to see you sprawling, Duncan. Like get my hands planted to the mat. Like if I don't plant my hands, I want my teeth to be knocked out because I'm gonna face plant. Like that's how hard you should be sprawling on these. From there, once I, you know, for the split second I plant my hands, you've got a great opportunity to start setting up guillotines, darces, anacondas, whatever. Go behinds to the back if you want to play that game. But like just starting to weigh heavy on me gives me an opportunity to either sit to guard, hand fight, prepare for that snap down. But get your shoulder over my neck, sprawl heavy like I'm taking a shot on you, and just put all of your weight right over my shoulders. Right, I was able to break out of it there, and then I countered low single. But either way, like that's the setup is there, man. The snap down or the front headlock setup is there. Like use those snap downs to really screw me over. I think Brandon and Caleb were getting a little lesson from Pat there at the end too. I think these two had an explosive match as well, at least according to Cole. How did Kurt get broken down here? Caleb gets behind. All right, Kurt just goes down to 4 points.
Oh, you just jumped. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another go behind by Brooke.
Oh, see, I didn't see it. Oh yeah.
Shoulder shrug. Yeah. Beautiful.
And then insists on staying there, and then finishes it with this like step around trip, which you can kind of catch. You let's see if you're in the way. You can kind of see it.
The left leg over the left leg. Right?
Yeah, and then pulling it out. And she's lost Cole's back a little bit here. I'm gonna turn you off for a second. Realigns. So Cole's working that like high elbow defense that bugs me a lot. I'm finding that the more people do that, whether you know they're doing the Kyle Chambers defense or they're doing the big high elbows, that's really like more and more when I double down on the straitjacket approach. Digging in on the strangle over and over is nearly impossible there, just because the neck is so well covered. So like you really want to focus on that, using the underhook from the bottom side. So you should be setting up, like if I was coaching Brooke here, you know, I would say get your underhook on the bottom side, work to a cross side grip on that top arm, as opposed to the same side grip she has right now on the top arm. That way you could start to leg trap more effectively. Once you get his arm trapped with your legs, you can start attacking the other arm, or you know, start throwing in attacks on the neck if that's your style too. You know, nasty cross faces, wrists under the nose, all that stuff. Brandon says, Daniel was showing me this heel toe thing to get my leg untrapped. Oh, okay, yeah. Working out a half guard. That'll be essential for any sort of like true passing and pinning at that point. Either way, Cole's making it extremely difficult for Brooke to work, regardless of what strategy she uses. He's being super defensive right now, but she's killing it by staying up on top and staying aligned with his hips with her body triangle. Nice, sneaking in the strangle. Whereas Cole's got to really focus here, not just on hand fighting, but on doing that body triangle, which is no small feat. It's a difficult thing to do, but definitely doable. Looks like he's out of danger, mostly out of danger at this point. Back to open guard. I wish we could see how he was engaging with her there. That pass on you was the singular moment of brightness in this role from me.
It was a nice pummel. Like, it was really in a good hip switch.
Yeah, everything else I felt like I was like not making any progress. But you had me so loaded up here. And then, yeah, the shin on shin with my left shin on top of your right.
Yep.
Switching my hips.
It was so fast for me to be able to untangle and decipher where everything was. And, like, where... Yeah, it's weird. Like, those floating passes, you have a hard time as person on bottom figuring out where the pressure is going to come from.
Yeah.
Like, whether it's going to be pushing the leg down or pushing the leg across. Mm-hmm. And you have just a very small amount of time to be able to figure that out.
Yeah. I was pretty deep in 50-50 with you here, which I'm normally pretty comfortable with, and at no point did I feel comfortable attacking you. I was like, I
actually felt pretty good in that exchange. And then I felt like you felt uncomfortable and wanted to back out, and
100%. But I was, as soon as we backed out, like the side body lock I got, I was pretty happy about. I mean, you're framing me like crazy here, so it was. I don't think I ended up getting anything decent with it. And then this like kind of reverse pendejo guard.
Yeah.
He started working.
Yep.
It's like, I don't know what to do with this.
I didn't know what to do with it either.
Good. So Brooke has managed to get her way back to mount. Caleb is almost to mount. So Caleb, this is a cool little dilemma you could put Kurt in here. When he's got your knee trapped in half guard like this, you know, we talk a lot about, and you don't have the underhook. All right. So, obviously you want that underhook on the same side as your trapped leg, you know, your top side underhook, whatever. You're doing good here in that you have flattened out Kurt at this point. And he's not making any significant attempt to like off balance you with a knee lever or anything like that. Which he could do if he extends his legs in this lockdown, gets your knee planted here, and then switches to that knee lever where both his feet are outside, points his knees, rolls you over, whatever. Either way, before he does all that, like your hand, well, and make sure I got everything right here. You've got heavy shoulder pressure. You're using your head as the crossface. And you've got that cross-facing arm underneath. So when you put your free hand here on Kurt's knee, he's going to want to disrupt it because that's what's going to help you pull your knee through. When he goes to disrupt and grab your wrist or like, remove your hand from his leg, that's your time to shoot for the underhook. It's when he's reached down. If you think about it, it's when he's reached down, there's a gap between his ribs and his arm here. So you're either going to push your knee and get your knee free and then work from a knee staple position, or you're going to get your underhook from topside half guard. At that point, even if your knee is trapped, you could still work to get it free, but now you have that underhook, which is huge for you. So don't get caught up in the battle here of like grip fighting. As soon as he gets your hand, tries to get your hand off of his leg, switch up to an underhook if you can. Try to fish the underhook in from there. I don't mind the Kimura attempt, but like his elbow is on the ground, it's tight to his body. You're nowhere near using the Kimura effectively at this point, but you still have a great opportunity to get an underhook. So keep that in mind next time you're in top half guard with a trapped knee. Hand to the knee to either get your knee free or to establish your underhook. It works. It's so simple, but it works very effectively. Looks like Brooke and Cole pretty much ended it here. Brooke tooling Cole, and me making no progress with you at all. And Austin getting smashed.
Yeah, so Caleb wanted to watch this over. I don't really want to watch it past this part because I just spend 5.5 more minutes just underneath Caleb.
I'm tempted to just skip past it to not give Caleb the satisfaction.
I make a really bad mistake here shortly. But yeah, so Caleb has been hitting that takedown all night on like everybody that he's rolled with. And I don't know what the difference was, Caleb, and if you're still watching, but like, so you had the go behind. I've been practicing from this position like a lot, right? And so as soon as you start coming down to take me down, I'm immediately making sure that my head is above your head. You'll see that my head never goes below your head. Okay, and then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm building hip height. And so I'm making sure that my hips go above your hips. And then now, Duncan, going back to what we were talking about before in terms of putting top pressure on the back of somebody's head and sprawling out, that's what I'm doing here. I'm trying to get into that front headlock position and trying to sprawl out and put some pressure down. So I don't know, Caleb, if I did anything unique here, but it was almost like with James or rolling with Joe, when you just have somebody who doesn't want to accept that bottom position. That's kind of that's where I was at.
That was effective.
So then here we get into this front headlock. I switch over and I'm like, I look over at Daniel. I'm like, I think I'm going to try it. And I tried the
Anaconda.
The Anaconda, but what he did was he like arched up and was able to keep me pinned. My left arm got stuck. And then my right arm got stuck. And then I got stuck.
Man, Austin may have been the only one to shut down Brooke from getting behind him. He just had a heavy whizzer. So she's like, all right, I'll just beat your ass from the front. And then get behind you. Let's speed this up a bit. Caleb works his way to mount nicely too with that knee on belly transition.
Mm-hmm.
What does Austin do here? Nothing. Nothing.
He's trying to invert his way out of it.
Yeah, trying to regard.
He
Gets it.
Yeah. Success.
Meanwhile, Cole's just smothering Kurt right now. And I can't remember.
Wrist lock, maybe?
No, it was either because he was either setting up an Americana. I think it may have been some like smother pressure actually, or his neck. I think his neck was getting turned pretty hard, so Kurt was like, "Yeah, you got to get off of me."
Yep.
Cole's like, "Yeah, I'm strong." Cole rolling him over. Look at Brooks go behind here. If she blocks it all, or if she just goes fast. Yeah, so she kind of goes fast, but she keeps her legs really far away. The only thing here, Brooke, is if Austin reaches up and doesn't block your legs, but blocks your hips right here, you're gonna probably be put on your back. So keep that in mind. Like, speed can be great, but you can just throw a knee in right behind, cut your distance in half, and then, you know, once you're halfway there safely, getting the rest of the way there isn't too difficult either. If it works, it works. But if you start getting caught there, that's likely why. I feel like she's trying to set up the power ride.
Mm-hmm.
Kurt
That was a
working.
miserable position.
What does Kurt get here? Does he... I can't tell if he gets a shoulder crunch. No, not really. Oh, he uses an Americana to turn him over. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, Caleb tapped me with this last week. It was like my last round of the night. I was so tired, and I'm like, God, this is miserable. Like, go ahead. You can have it. And then Brooke with the Katagatame. Almost. Saved by the bell. So now, cool. We can compare my shitty takedown attempt on Brooke to what I did with Kurt earlier. I don't think much happens before that. If we go down, I'll stop it. What is this? Caleb and Cole. Let's watch that one. Caleb working his over-under. A little lateral drop.
Yep.
And to Duncan, look at what Brooke does here when she gets her front headlock on me. Just dropping weight, dropping weight, dropping weight. Pulling me, dropping weight. Let's go to normal speed for a second. So here I get the Russian tie on her. Oh, maybe it's not yet.
No, it is.
Yeah, so I think that's the difference, is I don't have her arm way outside of her body here, right? Whereas with Kurt, I think Kurt's arm was further out here, and then Kurt took his body to it. Whereas with Brooke, like by the time my back's hitting the mat, her hand is almost in between her legs, so I'm not getting the same torque on the shoulder that I get when it's all the way out from the body.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
I do. I see what you mean.
The trade-off here is if this was successful, I believe you land in a better top position. Like you land basically in side control, whereas when the arm's way outside, you're further away from them. So like that's the trade-off is you attack the Kimura, but when you get the takedown, you've got to scramble up. When you send the arm up or between the legs, you land more closely to them for less of a scramble and more control in the end.
Yep.
That's my theory that I feel like you and I have talked about, or maybe like Bertram and I talked about it one time. But either way, it didn't work, and Brooke smash. And then Cole reversed that. Let's see how Cole swept this from here. He's got the underhook on the far side. Caleb goes to Kesa, trying to work the grip.
That's what I want to see him doing from that Kesa position. That's the vulnerability in Kesa, right?
Yeah.
Is having somebody who can come out the back door and go for the back take.
Yeah. Yeah. Cole gets his hips up, slips his head out.
And Caleb, the reason why he's able to do that is because you didn't have full control over the bottom arm. So when you switch, I see that you have his arms are up framing, and your arms are kind of coming up to address, to address like his forearm or something. I don't know whether you were trying to go for a submission or what.
Yeah, just gripping at the wrist.
Yeah.
Yeah, with this, so it looks like you're trying to pull up behind the head, but this tricep is not under any control, and that's just he's essentially just rotating out of this.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, you weren't, dude. Caught you in not 4K, but 720p. You ain't trying to isolate shit. Now, if kidding aside, if you were like gripping at the wrist to try to push it down or something, but clearly right here, you switch to behind the head, and that's just at that point there is no there's like Mike's saying, there's no control on that bottom arm, which makes it easy to slip. But now you know. So I got to work a lot of body triangle escaping in this round. I think this one, I couldn't twist my hips like I like to do on this. So I opted to kind of attack the, well, that one I did a different one. But I think later I tried to attack like the fact that her triangle ends up on bottom, and I put some pressure on her ankle.
Mm-hmm.
But she's doing a great job switching, just making it total pain in the ass for me. But now I've got my shoulders free. It's just get my inside elbow to the mat. If you want to take top position, go ahead. I feel pretty confident in this transition to either attack legs or get to close guard. So I'm not scrambling too hard here until I can get her legs broken open. Ideally, I would like to go for a leg attack, but it wasn't panning out.
No, she's very aware of that.
what's up with Caleb and Cole here? Cole gets to the back.
He's really high up though.
Yeah, and he doesn't have it.
Only one hook.
Yeah. Out the back.
Caleb just slips the back.
Perfect time for Cole to enter into a leg attack, a counter leg attack at this point. How did I pass Brooks guard? I didn't think I was going to. Okay, so I worked from half guard.
You went straight into a mount.
Knee staple. Yeah, okay. Cole, I don't want to see you sitting on that. So this was a great step over. You're right past the guard here. Like,
yep. I was coaching him through that. Yep.
Boom. Now it's turn the corner and smash, right? This shouldn't have happened. I mean, if he was rolling easy, whatever, but like maybe just because I never intend on rolling easy with Caleb, I would want to see Cole finishing that pass.
Yeah, it should have been underhook on the far side, knee on belly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He was talking about his hand or something.
Whatever. So here I had this like mounted armbar on Brooke, and I was like, yeah, I'll spin around, go for a standard finish. And like I just got so lazy and stupid with it. Like look how much space is between her elbow and my chest. And she just like she breaks the grip on her terms, spins hard, gets her elbow free. I'm like, damn it. Like, I almost had her, and I just got stupid with it. And then this is great. She comes up immediately to win the scramble and then start working a guard pass. I catch her leg here, but I don't think it went my way.
This is when I started coaching her. Right leg in.
Yeah.
Back, and then you're back into the back.
Which I'd appreciate it if you didn't do that. Be a lot better for me. And then, yeah, now it's just like, all right, another super deep body triangle that I have to contend with. And she does such a great job of hiding her top foot. So I switch it over here. I put some pressure on the ankle, hoping she would expose that foot, and then I could get behind it with my leg, start untangling it from there. That's not my favorite escape just because it's more pain compliance. Like Luke isn't gonna, I mean, Brooke didn't, I don't think she really budged with it too much. I think she relieved the pressure a little bit, but not enough. Luke would laugh at me if I did that to him. Like, it's not always gonna work. But enough switching back and forth, and I could get my shoulders free. And then pray for the clock to run down. So yeah, there we go. Another great evening of rolling. So yeah, man, Duncan, Brandon, you guys are killing it. I genuinely like could feel the step up in offensive pressure and defensive tactics that you guys are putting out there. So kudos to you guys. Keep it up, man. Those eureka moments are great when they happen, and it's makes us happy as coaches to see that. Thank you, Caleb. Thanks, Pat. Thanks, James.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys know the deal. Follow us here, subscribe on YouTube. What else? We got a little bit more of open guard left this week, and then we'll be switching on to half guard next week. What else? I don't think there's any big business right now, but yeah, keep on coming back. See you guys on the mats. Trim your nails, do your laundry, don't be stinky. You got anything?
That's it. See you tomorrow.
Good to go. All right, guys, we'll see you on the mats. Take it easy.
Later.